mangoes.
Obama. You say Obama, I say Obama. You say your mama, I say your mamna. You say banana, I say banana. You say David Pacman, I say David Pacmanma.
That is being used by some, but it's... Obama. I did miss it. I should have mentioned it. I agree.
You say Obama, I say Obama. When Obama killed Osama, I think you mean Osama. When I smoke a blunt, it's always marijuana. The dude from Tibet, the Dalai Lama. Obama.
Mangoes?
My bag of mangoes up under Trump cost me $8.
I love mangoes too.
99 cents. Okay. Now that we are up under Biden's regime, my bag of mangoes now costs $11.99. My bag of mangoes, my bag of mangoes, my bag. That's right. My bag of mangoes, my bag. My bag of mangoes. Bring my mangoes back down.
That seems like a pretty good deal. Aren't mangoes like $3 each? Bag of mangoes?
Highway robbery.
Bag of mangoes?
That's right.
Bag of mangoes?
Highway robbery.
Bag of mangoes?
That's right. Don't raise the price of fruit. Don't you want me to be healthy? Don't you? Don't.
The majority of the cabinet members who basically say this is a president who's unable to discharge his duties.
Civic duty, and I'm proud to do it. Number two. Now, some you have to be rough, some you have to be nice. Be a very long duty.
Came in pretty big. The helicopter, you gave away rides to the kids.
And it was nasty. It was one of the nastiest, they say. We have done an incredible duty. People came to Washington to duty. Help. Bullshit. We have done an incredible duty. You can take that home, honey.
We are? Amazing. Welcome to the Father State YouTube Live. I'm Jesse Lee Peterson. Apologize for the late start, but we are black, and black people are late. We start on CP time. I'm glad you're here. You love me?
I don't really know you.
Do you have to know me to love me? Yeah, well, I love you.
Thank you.
Are you surprised?
Not really.
Were you surprised that I threw you off the radio show?
Not really.
Uh-oh.
Mangoes?
My bag of mangoes.
Uh-oh. I love mangoes too.
99 cents. Okay. Now that we are up under Biden's regime, my bag of mangoes now costs $11.99.
That seems like a pretty good deal. A bag of mangoes? Aren't mangoes like $3 each? That's it. I want what, $8 or $11? That sounds good.
The American people alive. And highway robbery is what you're doing. Bring my mangoes back down. My bag of mangoes. My bag of mangoes.
Mangoes?
My bag of mangoes. Bring my mangoes back down. Raise the price of fruit. Don't raise the price of fruit. Don't raise the price of fruit. Bring my mangoes back down.
The Wisconsin crowd identified with the mangoes.
Disproportionately affected the American people. Don't want me to be healthy. Healthy. Don't want me to be healthy. It's highway robbery is what you're doing. Don't raise the price of fruit. Don't raise the price of fruit. Don't raise the price of fruit. Don't raise the price of
Mangoes?
Wow, what a note on which to start 2022. It is the first stream of the year. Welcome, everybody. Hope everybody made it into the new year. Well, I guess you obviously did if you're here. And okay, anyway, it doesn't really make a lot of sense, but it's great to see everybody. You will notice that we have YouTube chat on the screen. This is a very, very interim solution to, there's a technical error that is affecting some channels, which prevents us from isolating the super chats the way we've been doing for years. We're waiting on a solution from YouTube engineering, so that shouldn't take more than like a few years. So in any case, this will allow me, I think, if at some point someone sends a super chat, I should be able to kind of scroll it and isolate the super chat. It's the best solution we have for the time being. Yeah, we'll see how it looks if and when someone sends a super chat, and then we'll try it. I don't know. But eventually I want to have the old solution back. So we're going to keep an eye on that. Extremely big news. Donald Trump, Ivanka Trump, and Don Jr. have been subpoenaed by the New York Attorney General. This is a request to provide testimony or documents. That's what a lot of people in the chat were saying. What is a subpoena? Oh, hold on. Here we have a super chat. Yeah, okay. I guess if there were text associated with it, I'd be able to pull up the text as well. But they show up, and I can kind of isolate them in this way. Oh, wait, hold on. Here we go. What if I click this? That's a test. Wait a second. Oh, there we go. Hold on a second. This might be the way to do it. Something about this is looking a little bit weird. Right there. Test. There we go. Okay, so, yeah, I guess I can click them like this. Yeah, that'll work, actually, guys. That'll work. Let's see if another one pops up if it's sent. It's such a bad solution, I know, but it is what it is. I'll keep this up on screen for now, and then the chat will kind of scroll behind it. Okay. Trump, Ivanka, Don Jr. subpoenaed by Attorney General. Now, remember, Thursday, Donald Trump is doing a press conference. That'll be January 6th, the 1-year anniversary of the Trump riots, which he incited. It's at Mar-a-Lago at 5 p.m. Eastern. We'll be live at 4 p.m. Eastern. And it's theorized he might make some kind of major announcement. What that announcement would be, it's really anybody's guess. Who the hell knows? But that's Thursday. In advance of that, the Associated Press reporting, New York's Attorney General recently subpoenaed former President Trump and his 2 eldest children, Ivanka, who he would date if it weren't his daughter, and Donald Trump Jr., demanding their testimony in connection with a civil investigation into business practices. The subpoenas stem from Attorney General Letitia James' years-long investigation into matters including the valuation of properties owned or controlled by Trump and his company, the Trump Organization. The Attorney General's contempt to get testimony from Trump was reported in December, but the court filing today was the first public disclosure that investigators also want to talk to Ivanka and Donald Trump Jr. James is a Democrat, has spent more than 2 years looking into whether the Trump org misled banks or tax officials about the values of assets. Hints, they did. Michael Cohen has spoken extensively about this, inflating them to gain favorable loan terms or minimizing them to reap tax savings. See, that's the game. Sir, if you want a loan, we need collateral. Sure. Well, I've got this building worth $50 million. Oh, great. We'll loan you up to 80% of the $50 million. Great. Sir, you must pay taxes on this property. Oh, this crappy building, this thing's worth $25 million. You only tax me on 25. But sir or ma'am, didn't you tell the bank that it's worth $50 million? Well, yeah, but no, I mean, they'd be stupid to fall for that. That's the game. Okay. That's the game. Super chats are pouring in. Let's see if I can get them on screen. There's that one. Can we sell tickets for their testimonies? Asks Teresa. I don't know that that's legal. Carnage says 100. And Waller is me says this is what it is. Also, here's one from Chris. Hold on, here it is. Do you feel good about Bitcoin in 2022? Are you buying more? I am not making any prediction about the value of Bitcoin at any point. I continue to put about 5% of my assets into crypto, and I'm going to ride it like I'm riding everything else. Sir, have you tried Sartori's Montemore cheese yet? I have not. Sir, hello from Helsinki. Greetings, greetings, greetings. Super chats giving beta energy. Oh my God. Okay, so super chats continue to come in, and I think it's a beautiful thing. Maybe we'll just. Oh, now that we're up under a Biden regime, Paul Mango is doing cameos for $250. Bring the Mango cameos back down. I agree with that. I think that's an important message. Okay. I do want to say thanks over on Twitch. Welcome to Twitch. The first Twitch subscribers of the year are K. Gouldy, Cosmos, Multi-Beast, Slimsk, Breezy, Crowbars Forever, and Stuck-a-Duck, putting us at 6 for the day. I also want to thank the absolute first new website member of the year. It is Jose Pesante Ramos, who signed up with the coupon code Obama and is new member number 7 today. Just like last week, guys, if we get to 100, I will stream tomorrow. And if we do it tomorrow, I'll stream Wednesday. Otherwise, the next scheduled stream is Thursday, January 6th. Okay, let's continue. The Trumps have indicated they will fight the subpoenas and are expected to file court papers through their lawyers seeking to have them thrown out. A similar legal fight played out last year after James' office subpoenaed the testimony of another Trump son, Eric Trump. Messages seeking comment were left Monday with lawyers for the Trumps and with the Attorney General's office. It was reported last month that James had requested that Donald Trump sit for a deposition, but Monday's court filing was the first public acknowledgement that there has been a subpoena. It is a big deal. Whether anything will happen is a different question, but it is a big deal. State court judge who handled past disputes arising from the probe agreed today to entertain arguments over the subpoenas, which also seek documents from the Trumps in addition to testimony. As the legal fight over the subpoenas was heating up behind the scenes, Trump sued James in federal court last month, seeking to end the investigation. Trump in the lawsuit claims James violated his constitutional rights in a thinly veiled effort to publicly malign Trump and his associates. So this is a big deal. You know, I'm already getting emails from people saying, does this mean Trump's going to jail? Is he going to prison? I still believe the answer is no. It just doesn't seem like that's what's going to happen. But this is a major deal. You don't typically see this of any former president or of their family. So it is a big deal. This is also in advance of the press conference happening on January 6th, which, of course, we'll be covering. That'll be at 5 p.m. Eastern time, and a major, major deal. Other super chats coming in. No, I guess not. Yeah, no other super chats. Okay, we'll keep it running for the time being. I do want to say thanks over on Twitch to Trisha Northstar, Jen here, Dr. Ubian or D Rubian, and Killin Smalls for the Twitch Prime subscriptions, putting us at 11. I do also have another extremely special announcement. There is a new coupon code for 2022. That coupon code is WOW22. And you have to say it that way. You can't just say, oh, the code's WOW22. No, the coupon code is WOW22. It won't even work unless you say that as you're typing it in on my website. WOW22. David, I have a couple friends who love Obama, love Trump, hate Biden. What are your thoughts on this? Because I find it strange. People are generally strange. I don't know your friends, so it's hard for me to say much about it. But every combination of everything exists. Oh, by the way, the coupon code is spelled WOW22. A bunch of people saying, how exactly is that spelled? That's the spelling. That's the spelling. Sir, will the Trump coup attempt affect the midterms? It's AFFECT. Okay. It will not. It will not. That is my prediction as of right now. All right. I have so much to cover for you guys today. I can't even believe it. First of all, just tell me what you want me to talk about first, because we have a packed stream. We'll get to 2022 voicemails. I have voicemails. COVID is completely nuclear at this point in time. Look at these numbers. Look at that. It's a vertical. COVID tests are basically missing everywhere. At-home tests are sold out almost anywhere. They're not even very good at detecting asymptomatic Omicron. And there are 2-3 hour waits at a bunch of different PCR testing sites. It's outrageous. That's first and foremost. Secondly, I've been made aware of someone named Kim Iverson. And I don't know much about her, but I guess some people believe that she's on the left. My colleague John put together video of Kim Iverson saying she loves Ron DeSantis and would vote for DeSantis for president if he ran, which DeSantis is Trump on steroids. So that we're going to look at that. Kim Iverson. I don't know who listens to Kim Iverson, but if you did thinking she was on the left, she's big on DeSantis. It's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I also have video of a really weaponized arrest of a woman being arrested for refusing to wear a mask on a plane. I believe that this is a mental health incident, but not too many people are saying that, and it seems very obvious to me. Then I have a prototypical example of why I think Dave Ramsey is just not the right person for any thinking individual to get financial advice from. He's basically just a right-wing nut who offers financial advice. And we're going to play that. Also, by very popular demand, one of my favorite ever court videos. This is a cross-examination of an interesting witness from a lawyer named Neil Rockind. It's a compelling video, and we're going to look at that as well. And we might check in on what Stephen, Kenneth, Destiny Bonnell II is up to in the new year as well. We might watch Destiny watching Ian Varsh. So we'll get to that a little bit later. There's just so much going on. So where do people want me to start today? Any opinions? Theo says via Super Chat, after listening for some time, I feel like supporting you financially. Thanks for your nuanced and counterweight response to U.S. developments. Pleasure. Thank you, Theo. I really appreciate that. Also, thanks to Dark Warrior and Kai Killjoy for the Twitch Prime subscriptions, putting us at 13. And remember that the new coupon code, WOW22, is up and running. Mask Woman first. Okay, let's do it. Let's do Mask Woman first. Let's just jump right into it. There is audio eventually. Stand by. Here it is. So the concept here is a woman is refusing to wear her mask, and so police are called.
What's going on, guy? Hello. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. She's in 34 Delta.
Okay. What's the plan?
Actually, bizarre. I don't know whether she's taken something that she shouldn't have taken. The gate agent had trouble with her, told her twice at least to put her mask on.
Okay.
When she came on, and she gave her an attitude, and then she keeps taking it on and off. And
You guys want her off the plane?
She was spitting at people back there.
Okay. So she definitely want her off the plane,
Yeah,
correct?
34 Delta.
Okay. You're gonna just stay behind me because I need you to ask her to get off the plane because you're the representative of the airline, and then when she refuses, I'll take it from there. All right. 34, where's that at?
Extremely problematic audio. Shouldn't even be allowed. All right, so you tell me what you think as soon as you see this get going.
Okay. Hello.
We're going to take you off the aircraft.
Yep, you're gonna have to get off the aircraft.
Yeah,
okay?
and you're out there,
Yep.
and I compliment you in that way.
So can't you tell in 5 seconds that this is someone who is seems to be on something? I mean, mental health issue and it just seems like this is not merely someone who is being obstinate. Obviously, she's got to leave the plane.
Represented the aircraft, they don't want you flying on their plane today, okay? So you're gonna have to get off the aircraft.
They made us wait and wait and wait.
Yeah, that's the way it is, but right now I'm gonna need you...
And that's fine, and I will respect that.
Okay, so I'm gonna need you to grab your bag and just
step off the aircraft. And I did not do anything, actually. Disrespect.
We'll talk about it outside.
Disruptive, besides speak my mind.
Okay.
And you know what? I live in America, and that's what fucking America's about.
Calm down.
No, you
It doesn't seem like alcohol to me.
That.
Grab your bag.
You know that. You know that.
Give me another unit on the plane, please.
If you are ever gonna put your hands on
grab
me.
Grab your bag.
No, I will grab my bag. But you know I'm gonna sit here and zone up.
Listen, no one's gonna put their hands on you unless
all right,
you have to.
yeah, you
grab
won't.
Your bag and just step off
you
the
won't.
Okay, but I need you to get up.
No.
Okay.
You need me to get up? You may need me to get up, but you know what I feel my need to do as a person? Just like Jesus motherfucking Christ.
You need to calm down.
No, I'm gonna do what I need to do. I'm gonna say what I need to do, and if you're gonna do whatever you feel you need.
I don't even think it's alcohol and Xanax. I don't know. I'm just not sure, but it's like, this is not just someone it's like there's all these things where people are ideologically against masks. This doesn't seem to be that at all. She just seems to be totally out of it.
Do to me, right? So I'm going to say what I have meant to say. No, to everybody.
Stand up, man.
Everybody is doing this.
You're going to get arrested if you do not stop.
I'm already going to get arrested.
You're going to get arrested if you don't stand up and get off the aircraft.
I'm probably already going to get arrested.
Do you want to get arrested?
Then
stand up and get off the aircraft. That's all you have to do.
It's not about that, man.
Okay.
You can
I'm going to ask you one more time, and then I'm going to have to put my hands on you, okay?
For what reason?
Because you're not listening.
Let me ask you that. You're gonna put no. And that's fine. That's fine. Why do you have a right to put your hands on me, though?
Okay, let's go, Russ. Come on.
No, why do you have a right to put your hands on me?
Ma'am.
What am I doing that makes you feel like you have a right to put your hands on me? Seriously, though, can you tell me that? Can you just help me to understand as a human that?
Here's an interesting comment. I'm a psychiatric nurse. Appears to be mania. So this would be a manic episode.
Is alive. Why do you? Seriously, though.
Yep. Get him off.
Seriously, why? Can you just tell me that?
So it gets to the point where they're like about to deplane the entire plane, but eventually she agrees to get up.
You too. You looked at me. I saw you look at me in my eyes. That's not real, man.
Just grab her bag. Yeah, she had a green backpack.
The I saw you look at me in my eyes as if she was communicating something is an interesting thing, because we have had a situation on the show where there was someone who was very, very sick, and they would regularly send a lot of different emails, and we ended up having to actually forward some of the stuff to law enforcement because there seemed to be a suicidality issue aspect to it, and we wanted everybody to be really safe. But one of the things that this viewer believed was that I was blinking messages in Morse code to her with the real meaning of what I was saying. In other words, what this particular and it was very, very sad. What this particular person came to believe was that with my eyes, I was signaling something different. And that's an idea that this woman also brings up, which is, I saw the look. I know what you were trying to communicate with that look.
Not real, man. I know it's not real. You just said if I got up and walked out and you why did you look at me like that? I didn't do anything wrong. I was
Let's go this way.
All right. So anyway, I don't think we have to watch the whole thing. They eventually get her, to a facility, and even like a nurse comes over, and it's just like nothing doing.
And, you think he's cute? Oh yeah, I thought he was cute too. I looked in his eyeballs, and I thought he looked into my eyeballs.
See, there it is again.
Abuse that.
Hello.
Yeah.
What's your name?
Hey. This is an
interference with flight operations.
Seriously, please just get somebody.
Her name is.
What's your name?
Gabrielle.
I don't want to tell you anything to you, so I want to say that I am being arrested.
All right, so really, really sad. Bottom line, I don't see that as kind of like your typical mask refuser. It seems like a very, very serious mental health incident there. Poison Toad says about Donald Trump via Super Chat, I predict he'll run just to create a situation to argue executive privilege as an excuse not to testify. What do you think, sir? He's going to have to deal with the executive privilege stuff and testifying years before the actual campaign. So I think Trump may run, he may not. We might find out Thursday at the press conference, but I don't think that's what it's going to hinge on. I want to say thank you to Lucas Wally. Lucas just signed up on my website, joinpacman.com, using the coupon code
Obama.
There it is. You can use the coupon code OBAMNA to get a discount. You can use the coupon code WOW22. WOW22. Let's start the year off, guys. November, December was really rough for us from the standpoint of memberships, and we had some time off streaming and a lot of different things. Help us kick the year off. Sign up at joinpacman.com. Use the coupon code. Don't use it. It's the top way to support us. And, of course, if you're watching on Twitch, feel free to drop in those Twitch Prime subs. Speaking of which, I want to say thanks to Buck Nast East 88. Hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. That's new member number 15 today. Yeah. Very good. I think that's about it. Okay. Let's go next and look at the COVID numbers. We don't even yet have the real numbers from because of the holiday. If you look really closely here, you see that on December 30th, there were 572,000 official cases. The real number is probably 3 times that. It's probably about 1.8 million. Why? Tons of people are using home tests and then not reporting the results or getting a PCR follow-up. If you're just at home, you use a CVS test, you go positive, and that's it. It doesn't show up here. Number 3, a ton of people it's so mild, they're not even going to get tested. They have a cold. It's actually COVID, Omicron. They don't go and get tested. So this number probably means it was maybe 1.8 million. There are places with positivity rates in the 20% range. Then there's a couple other days for which we have data, but I don't know that it's complete. December 31st came in at 503, probably 1.5 million. January 1st came in at 286. January 2nd at 221. These numbers are still being filled in. The good news so far is the death numbers are not spiking in South Africa. They believe they're beyond Omicron, and they did not see a death spike. So this is the hope. This is the hope. Meanwhile, testing is like impossible. You go to CVS, Walgreens, they have signs right at the front. All out of home COVID tests. Don't even bother. Lines are wrapping around testing sites at all sorts of different places. Someone I know over in Boston posted something yesterday or this morning with a picture of a traffic light. They were in line. Traffic light is like a block and a half away. They said you have to make the line to the traffic light just to get in the system to get the COVID test. Just outrageous. Outrageous. 2 years in, and we can barely get testing. And so many people would love to get tested, and they either can't find a test to buy, having trouble actually get it. It's completely crazy. So the hope would be that this huge spike, let's see if I can get the South Africa. Nope, that's not it. Let's see if I go back to countries. I'll show you this South African curve. Right? The hope is that we see this all the way up to 23,000 a day and then already down to 8, which is a decline of roughly 2/3 or more, and not a significant death spike. Cases went up about 150x and deaths only doubled. So this is the hope, and we're going to have more information soon. Okay, let's do the Kim Iverson thing. So a few of you came to me over the last few weeks and said, David, are you aware? Some of you said, David, sir, are you aware of what's going on the Hill Rising since Crystal and Sagar left? And I have no idea what's going on, but I've been told that there's like a new cast and crew of it, new cast anyway. And it involves Ryan Grimm, who I am familiar with, and then some other people I don't know. And then this woman named Kim Iverson, who, from what I recall, I used to get messages from people saying things like, David, the true leftists are Jimmy Dore and Kim Iverson and Glenn Greenwald. And I don't know who else. Okay. Here's just a few seconds of her talking about mass formation psychosis.
Term mass formation psychosis trended over the weekend with so many searches it broke the internet.
Even her delivery I find completely bizarre just from listening to these 10 seconds. Like something is very strange here, but let's listen.
When people went to search for the term on Google, a couple of strange things happened.
Oh no. Oh no. Is this like a Google conspiracy theory?
Some people saw this odd disclaimer from Google saying the results were changing quickly and that it would take time for results to be added by reliable sources. What does this even mean? I thought when you Googled something, it would bring up sites relating to the topic. Why would Google need time to add results by quote unquote reliable sources? Sounds like they're censoring search results. Well, a few hours later, when people searched for the term, a bunch of sites began to pop up claiming it was a new far-right buzzword.
Well, it is. Okay. So anyway, here's the point. If anybody believes that Kim Iverson is on the left, just watch this clip that my colleague John uncovered.
I really, it's probably also controversial to say, I really like Ron DeSantis. I would totally, if he runs, I'm voting for him.
What? Ron DeSantis is maybe the only person crazier than Trump in that he is even more dangerous and slightly more competent and could actually take Trump's ideas and make them a reality. What?
So I think with Ron DeSantis, what I like about, for one, I agree with him. I would say like 75% of the time, maybe.
What? Oh my God. This is a leftist, guys. This is the true leftist from what some of you emailed me. Her and Jimmy Dore. These are the only people. She agrees 70% with Trump, Turbo Trump.
25% of stuff I don't. But I like that I think he's kind of like, I think he is a fighter for the people.
What are you talking about? What?
In a lot of ways. And I think he's honest.
No, he's a complete and total liar.
I like that he calls out the just bullshit, he's just like calls it as he sees it.
Wow. So anyway, there's people in my audience who are like, that's the real leftist. So make of it what you will. Not someone I'm very familiar with, but from what I'm seeing, immediately jumps to conspiracies that involve the left suppressing the right and says she would vote for DeSantis if he ran, who is completely out of his mind. I mean, one of the worst governors in the country, one of the most extreme governors in the country. Ron DeSantis is really a progressive. That's what it is. Kim Iverson is a progressive because Ron DeSantis is a progressive. Exactly. Crazy. Let me say thank you to, is it Michaela or Mishael Tellis, who just signed up at joinpacman.com with the coupon code WOW22. Thank you, Mishael. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Thanks to Paul Carl for signing up on the website with the coupon code OBAMNA. You are new member number 17 today. And I also want to say thanks to Chuck Neasy, TMD Lock, Black White Rook, and Endies for the Twitch Prime subscriptions, putting us at 21. Speaking of Black White Rook, I do want to announce the next David Pakman Show chess tournament open to all. Tuesday, January 11th, 6 p.m. Eastern. It will be on chess.com. Anyone can play. You will be matched with people of your skill level. I will be playing. So far, I am pleased to announce that Grandmaster Benjamin Feingold will be playing in the tournament and streaming it. International Master Eric Rosen will be playing in the tournament and I believe streaming it. And hold on, what is her ranking here? Let me see here. Women's FIDE Master Anna Cramling will be playing in the tournament and streaming it. And actually, I'm not sure. Hold on a second here. There's one other person who I'm not sure if she's going to be playing or not. She expressed interest, but I don't know if she's going to be playing. So January 11th, 6 p.m. Eastern, the next casual chess tournament is going to be going on. Okay, very, very exciting. Let's go next to the Dave Ramsey thing. Oh, wait, before we do that, let me see if we've got other super chats here. We have sort of like a intermediate solution for Super Chat. David, did Ben Shapiro commission the Miami Cafe feet pics of AOC's boyfriend? Just wondering, given his insalubrious predilections. I have no evidence of that, Chuck, but let's just say it's under investigation. It's under investigation. Okay. Also, big thank you to Cam St. Croix, who just signed up on my website with the coupon code WOW22. Okay, do we want to do Dave Ramsey next, or do we want to do voicemails next? People let me know in the chat. Dave Ramsey or voicemails? Could do either of them. I mean, we'll do both. We'll do both. All right, let's do the Ramsey thing first. Okay, so as many of you know, my background is actually not in politics. It's actually podiatry. No, it's actually finance. I have an MBA in financial planning. I was at one point licensed for life insurance, which I have a negative view about now in most financial situations. My sort of background is in financial planning. And a lot of time people call in and they say, David, what do you think of Dave Ramsey? A lot of the stuff he says makes sense. And I have to tell you, I find Dave Ramsey, generally speaking, entertaining. But Dave Ramsey is basically a right-wing ideologue who gives financial advice. Some of the financial advice that Dave Ramsey gives is uncontroversially good. Like, for example, it's, if you don't have an emergency fund, it's an emergency and you shouldn't be buying a new car. You should be safe. There's a lot of really uncontroversial stuff that Dave Ramsey tells people, and it's absolutely fine. But on the specifics, Dave Ramsey's views about mortgages, I don't totally agree with. Dave Ramsey's views about some elements of the debt snowball don't really make sense to me. He's got these baby steps. Okay, whatever. It's like, fine. My real problem with Dave Ramsey is that he is a right-wing ideologue. He is a right-wing ideologue. And there are non-ideological places where you can get the same and better advice. There's no reason to go to Dave Ramsey. Here's an example of this. And by the way, let me get to that. Here's an example. Someone called in and said, my husband switched to a lower paying job because of the vaccine mandates, and the entire call is crazy. And you can tell that he's acting like it's totally sensible to take a 30% pay cut because you don't want to get vaccinated. Let's just jump right in.
Sure.
Hey, Dave. Thanks so much.
Thank you. How can we help?
Yeah, my husband is transitioning to a new job next month. It's in a new field, and I just would like some help trying to figure out how to set up our monthly budget and some of the specifics about.
Now, from what I understand, all the calls are pre-screened, and people are like, you call in and leave a voicemail saying what you want to talk about, and then they like schedule you to call in. So he presumably he knows the reason for the transition is the vaccine mandates, but he'll get to that. He elicits it, but it's like, oh, I'm stumbling across this. No, the calls are scheduled.
401k and we have to start allocating our benefits pretty soon. And I'm not entirely sure like how to set up our new budget because I don't know exactly what the take home pay is going to be. The catch is that he's making a little bit less money with this new job.
Why?
Well, he wanted to, in the simplest of terms, he didn't really have a future at his current company due to the mandate. So he kind of saw the writing on the wall. And so he decided to get out while the getting was good.
He didn't have a future at his company because of the mandates. And he decided to get out while the getting's good. And Dave goes, okay. Yeah. As if that's logical. Let's continue.
Okay. All right.
So he had to kind of switch fields. The good news is his new.
The real financial advice is, hey, maybe a 30% pay cut because you don't want to get a vaccine that 1 billion people have gotten and helps protect you from serious illness and death. That's a stupid financial decision. Dave Ramsey's known for tough love. He'll go, don't buy the car, sell the car. Stupid. This is stupid. That's stupid. The good financial advice is you're taking a 30 grand pay cut because you refuse to get vaccinated and now you got to rebudget your whole life and delay the savings. That's the advice that he should be giving as a financial advisor. Don't take a 30% pay cut. Go and get vaccinated. Okay, let's continue.
New job is 100% remote. and it's based out of Texas, so we feel like we have a little bit of security there.
The job is based out of Texas, so we're going to get a little bit of security there. What does that even mean? What does that mean? We're gonna have security because of the job. If it's remote anyway, what is she talking about? And the reaction here is like, this is all normal. The reaction should be, you gave up 30 grand because you had to get vaccinated? Do you have kids? Do they go to school? Did they get their vaccines? You know, I mean, it's like, what?
Has upside?
The upside is that it's remote. So
right. So she's saying the upside in terms of not having to get vaccinated. He's saying, is there room for growth?
And the upside is he's not going to get fired for vaccines. But I mean, is there career ladder upside?
Yeah. So I mean, definitely he's kind of on the start at the bottom again. But the trajectory, it looks really good. And you know, the current job, I mean, he wasn't allowed to go into the corporate office. So
you know, it's like you could take a step back and go, I am not going to comment on the vaccine part, but as a financial advisor, choosing to take a $30,000 pay cut and go back to the bottom of the ladder is something I would try to avoid. It's not great for your savings plan to lose 30 grand a year. Like that's the financial advice.
Yeah,
there wasn't, I mean, his future there was kind of over.
Yeah, understand. Okay.
I understand.
We're getting a lot of people joining Ramsey, some really high quality people joining Ramsey.
High quality people are joining Ramsey.
For the same reason. They reach the end of their time with their other company based on their policies and so forth. So yeah, it's a lot of people looking for another place to work. And
so he's actually saying this is logical. He's like, yeah, we're hiring a lot of those anti-vaxxers ourselves, really high quality people. Now, Dave Ramsey's company, just so you know who we're getting advice from here, right? Let's take a look here. Check this out. This is who's giving you the financial advice. Okay. Oh man, half the page is an advertisement. Here we go. Dave Ramsey fired staffer for taking COVID precautions, lawsuit says. Brad Amos says when he requested to work from home to protect his high-risk family members from COVID, he was told, pray and keep moving forward, the lawsuit stated. Okay? This is the guy who's going, yeah, we're getting some high-quality people at Ramsey. There's another one here. Oh, wait a second. Hold on. It's like lawsuit claim. Okay, I'm not even able to find it right now. Former taking COVID-19. Yeah, pray away COVID. Okay, there's other ones. So you have to understand, like, it is extraordinarily cult-like, and this is not the guy you want to get financial advice from. The uncontroversial stuff, there's so many simple personal finance books. Don't read Rich Dad, Poor Dad. That's a whole other scam. Okay, don't do that. You can get the simple stuff you could write on one page. And in fact, a blogger like Mr. Money Mustache can give that stuff to you. He'll end up recommending. Now watch. Let's just continue. Okay, here we go.
All right. Now you're out of debt and you have your emergency fund.
Yeah, we moved earlier this year, and we bought a new home, and so we have a pretty sizable nest egg now. But we're completely out of debt except for our mortgage.
Okay. All right. Very good. All right. So you'll be putting 15% of your income into 401k, right?
So his company will match 36% of 6% of the 401k. So the problem is, I mean, it's less money, and so when we bought our home, the mortgage was very, very, very comfortable with his old job. And
wow, so it sounds like you're choosing to create a whole bunch of problems for yourself by just not getting vaccinated.
Taking a little bit of a step back.
What did he used to make?
About 130.
What does he make now?
He's going to make 100.
Okay. All right. So you're thinking of backing off the 401k at least for a little bit until you get settled in.
Yeah.
Okay. I wouldn't do it permanently. but I might do it for 6 months or even a year while you get settled into the new numbers. Okay. The old
Okay.
401k I would get with a SmartVestor Pro. Just click SmartVestor at Ramsey.
Yep. Hire them to help you with that.
Solutions.com. Find someone in your area that you like and that we endorse that does
someone endorsed by them. Sorry.
Stuff the way we teach, and they're Ramsey trusted people, right? And so sit down with them and do a rollover on the old 401k. Roll it to an IRA. Do not put it. If it wasn't in a Roth, don't move it to a Roth. Don't make it taxable. But a direct transfer rollover has no taxes coming out at all. So you want to go ahead and get that set up. You can do that after the first of the year. That's fine. But I wouldn't leave it over at the old company. Then the second thing is you can start your 401k. You're definitely going to get that 6% going in. You may want to go ahead and go on up to 10, and then let's see how we're doing from there. As far as your budget goes, I mean, you're guessing, and after 1 month, you'll adjust it and you'll know. So just give yourself plenty of wiggle room. But you've got a big nest. You got some money laying around from the sale of that house, right?
Right.
So if you miss it $1,000, you just pull some money.
Yeah. Anyway, so the thing about with Dave Ramsey is you don't need to. It's kind of like a Jordan Peterson thing, as I've said before. Jordan Peterson says some insane things, and he's generally speaking, a right-wing Christian guy, right? I mean, at the end of the day, he doesn't always wear his religion on his sleeve, but he's a right-wing Christian. And a lot of the stuff he says is just pretty basic, uncontroversial stuff about getting your life in order and whatnot. You can get that same stuff without the ideology and the wackiness in many, many other places, but it might take a little bit of work. The reason this and Jordan Peterson and all that stuff is so popular is it's just spoon-fed to people, and it's signal boosted, etc. Okay, so anyway, that's the Dave Ramsey thing. Don't get financial advice from Dave Ramsey. It's not necessary. He is a right-wing nut at the end of the day. He's a right-wing nut. Look at the lawsuits. Look at the COVID stuff. It's really, really crazy. I want to say thanks to Twitching Mangoes, Nicholas DB, and Mr. Vister for the Twitch Prime subscriptions. I really appreciate that. We are at 25. It's the first stream of the year. I will stream tomorrow if we get ourselves up to 100. 2 ways to do it. 1 is sign up at joinpacman.com. 2 is make a Twitch subscription. And 3, we will count Patreon pledges double. If you go to patreon.com/David Pakman Show and make the smallest pledge you can, even $2, it'll count as 2. Why not? We really want to get going, with a lot of momentum this year. All right, let's get to some of these other messages that have been coming in. We've got kind of like our interim super chat solution. There are no super chats. Okay, all right. It's working okay, not great. But I'm going to continue keeping an eye on that. All right, let's now do voicemails because I have been delaying voicemails for some time. Let's see what we got. Here's the first voicemail of the year from Whitney, welcoming us to 2022.
So I was looking at the Enneagram test and thinking about it in relation to like genders, and then also how people feel like, maybe slavery wouldn't be such a bad idea. And it's obviously like pertains to like women and, basically.
Okay. And a second message of peace and love from Whitney.
So getting more into the Enneagram test and think correlates to gender and, how exactly.
Okay. So that's that. Next is the first call of the year from Troy York. These may be the only calls from these people this year, by the way.
Hi, yeah, Dave. I'm watching your video on the Denver shooter. I believe his name is McLeod. And, in the video you said that this is only one shooter that you're focusing on. And yeah, I'm guessing that you're only focusing on this one shooter instead of the 110 because it's a rare case of that you can pin it on white nationalism and white people in general, as somehow this man's all indicative of the extremism. And I noticed how you threw Trump's name too in the.
Okay. I don't know what the guy's talking about, but it's all, of course, very, very interesting. This might be the same guy. Let's see.
And so the overarching colonial ruling powers actually overthrew that indentured servitude, newly freed indentured servant government. They overthrew that elected official, and they executed some of the perpetrators of the Native American genocide.
Wow, that's pretty serious.
First day of 2022, Pacific Coast time, 9:32. So I just had an epiphany because I'm watching the Young Turks, and often their broadcast, I don't know the terminology, blogs, whatever. I watch you guys on YouTube, and including yourself and Dalmore and several others that I've just chosen that are intelligent people. But I just realized today, when you're repeating statements in mockery, the idiots actually think when they're watching this, they don't have the mind span to.
All right. Let's try one more. Okay.
Hi, David. My name's Dan Bolzer from Albany, New York, and a frequent listener of yours. And I wanted to wish you a happy New Year and
thank you.
Share two thoughts. First thought is, could 22 be the year we finally see justice against Trump? Here's to hoping. The other side of the coin is fear about the fall 22 midterms and whether the GOP threat to democracy will further materialize. So keep up the good work. Enjoy listening to you. And again, have a happy New Year.
All right. Well, very important questions. We just don't have answers to them yet. Jody asks via Super Chat one more time. Do you think Ghislaine Maxwell will throw Trump under the bus? I actually don't think she will. I hope she will, but I don't think she will. Curious to hear what others think about that. I also want to say thanks to Tim Pool's girlfriend for signing up via Twitch Prime. Tim Pool's girlfriend is new member number 26 today, which I very much appreciate. All right, let's get to this video. This has nothing to do with anything on the show, but a bunch of different people over time have told me this video is fascinating and we should look at it here. Oh, we did get a 10 British pound super chat from Andy. Keep up the good work, good sir. Please remember us poor flippers over here in the UK with Brexit. It's flipped up, to be honest. Happy New Year, man. Of course, Andy. We remember all of you guys. Thank you. All right, this is just an interesting cross-examination. There's a lot of different interesting aspects to this. Let's just jump right into it, see what you guys think. It is one of the most entertaining videos I've ever seen. And just so you guys know, we are going to hear from the defense attorney, Neil Rockend, who is defending a guy who allegedly gave drugs, I think, to this guy. So this is a prosecution witness being cross-examined. It's very interesting. Let's just enjoy it. Just sit back, okay?
Any other questions, Judge?
Thank you.
Really prepare yourselves for this. This is something.
Mr. Spencer, I'm going to ask you some questions, okay?
Okay.
Questions I ask you should generally call for yes or no answers. If you can't answer it that way, you let me know, all right?
Yes.
Mr. Spencer, you have been around people who have used narcotics, haven't you?
Yes.
And you've seen people who, in your experience, appear to be high, haven't you?
Yes.
Who appear to be under the influence of some kind of a drug or affected by some kind of a narcotic, haven't you?
Yes.
Can you look the jury in the eye and tell me whether or not you've taken any narcotics today? Prescription pills, anything of that sort? Xanax, opiates?
Yes, I have taken prescription pills today. I've taken...
When did you last take a prescription pill today?
This morning.
What time?
I'd say around 9 o'clock.
And what medication did you take this morning around 9 o'clock before you came to court?
I took Vyvanse.
Vyvanse. Vyvanse is an amphetamine?
Yes, I'm prescribed.
Vyvanse is for ADHD?
Yes.
The behavior, the way that you're communicating, and I'm going to speak to you, try to speak softly and have a dialogue with you, okay?
Okay.
The entire speak softly thing is a clever tactic because it's like, does he need to be speaking softly? But he's already kind of creating this environment where he's like, this guy could flip out at any second.
The way that you're communicating now, isn't this the way that you've seen people communicate in your own personal life who appear to be high or under the influence?
Judge, I'm going to object to that.
What's the...
Judge, he can ask him if he's high or under the influence, but
have to ask
he's
him.
asking him to evaluate his...
I don't understand the question.
Okay.
I don't understand how I could look at myself from a third-person view.
So well, first of all, so the prosecutor objected, Your Honor.
Say the question again. I didn't understand.
Yeah, sure. The way that you're communicating now, I mean, can you hear? I'll withdraw and I'll ask it differently. Can you?
High right now? No, I'm not. Okay.
This is the way
high.
that you normally communicate?
I don't normally communicate from a stand in circuit court in a case involving an older man that threw parties with underage people providing drugs. I'm nervous. If you're accusing me of being drugs, then you're doing a very bad job.
Being drugs.
You should be asking
No,
questions
he's not.
that are actually going to help your client. Okay, next question.
I appreciate that.
And now I'm angry, and I'm going to tremble my voice even more, not because I'm on drugs, but because I'm nervous. Okay. And you're intimidating. That's what you do. Okay, it's not going to work.
Okay. Judge losing control of it quickly.
Answer the questions and then... That's my answer. Okay. We'll just answer his questions, and we'll get you out of here. Okay. All right. Go ahead,
Okay.
Mr. Ryan.
Thank you, Your Honor. Today, you testified a few moments ago to the jury in response to Ms. Hand's questions that Joe has provided you with ketamine on prior occasions at his house.
Correct.
And you said it was almost, I think I wrote down, said almost every time you were there. You remember that?
Yes.
Okay. And at the preliminary examination, that was when you testified before in district court. You remember that?
Yes.
And you took an oath at that time, is that right?
Yes.
And at the time that was closer in time to the events of February 15th, true?
Yes.
Okay. And you told that time you were asked this question, and this was your answer on page 62.
This gets wild
how
now.
How many times had you ingested ketamine that the defendant gave you at his house? Your answer, it was one time. It was that night. Wasn't that your answer under oath at the preliminary examination?
Yes, it was.
Today you've told the jury something different, haven't you?
Yes, I have.
So, 2 times under oath, you've given 2 different answers. True?
True.
Both of those pieces of testimony can't be true, right?
If I know you said to only keep this yes and no, but I'd like to explain that this isn't about the amount of times that I did ketamine at Joe's house. This is about it goes beyond that. Like I've stated multiple times, I was very inebriated every time that I was at his house. I may have even been given ketamine without knowing it.
You've never told the police before in response to any question. Let me finish my question.
Look.
You'll get every opportunity, Mr. Spencer. I'm keeping my voice very calm.
Everybody's relaxed.
Every opportunity to talk as much as you'd like.
Everybody's calm.
You've never before today in front of this jury made an allegation that somebody gave you ketamine without your knowledge. Isn't that true?
Can you please rephrase the question?
Yes. Until just now, you've never told the police or accused in a formal setting, in this case, Joe, of having given you ketamine without your knowledge, right?
Correct.
That's something new that you just told the jury now.
Well, maybe it was something that I didn't consider when I first stated that I only did it one time.
I'm sorry. I'm asking you, I'm moving on to another subject.
Wow.
You're here testifying in court. You understand that, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yes?
Yes.
You've just made another allegation against Mr. Shield that he drugged you with ketamine without your knowledge. Isn't that true? That's what you just told the jury?
Yes, it is.
Never told that to any police officer formally, nor did you testify to that previously in this case.
I may have mentioned it before. I'm not sure. There were so many times that I talked to detectives.
You just told the jury a second ago that it didn't dawn on you to think about that. Now you're saying that you actually may have said something about that. Those are two different things, aren't they?
Uh-oh.
Do you want me to go back and explain myself?
No, I'm asking you a specific question, Mr. Spencer.
Yes.
Okay. So your testimony today includes a new allegation against Mr. Shield that you were somehow drugged.
Plenty of
without your knowledge.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that it's a possibility. I'm not saying that that specifically happened. I'm saying it's a possibility, as in
the guy currently being charged might have secretly given me ketamine. Well, that's a big allegation.
there's no way anybody's ever going to be able to know that. I don't even know that myself. I'm just saying possibly, and maybe I considered that when I just said that I took ketamine multiple times at his house. Maybe I considered that it's a possibility, but there's no way I'm ever going to know if it actually happened.
Right.
That's what I'm implying.
Under oath,
I'm not alleging him of anything.
Under oath, the prosecutor asked you on direct examination whether Mr. Shield, whether had provided you with ketamine prior to, at the times you went to his house. She asked you that.
Like, why is this so compelling? I can't even really put my finger on it.
It's a very simple question. Do you remember it? Do you remember the question and answer a few moments ago?
Yes.
And you said yes. And you said, almost every time I was there.
Yes.
And you're saying that when you told the jury that under oath, that you were thinking to yourself that maybe it was given to me without my knowledge? Is that your explanation for that testimony under oath?
Yes, it is.
Does that make any sense to you? That you would
Yes,
answer
it
a
does
question
make
directly
sense.
that he gave you drugs in the past, gave you ketamine in the past, but now when I'm questioning you, it's, well, maybe I was thinking of, maybe I was drugged and didn't know it. That's why I answered it that way. Is that really the explanation you want the jury to accept?
I don't know how else you would want me to explain this. I would appreciate if you could move on to the next question.
I'm sorry? You want me to move on to the next question?
Yes.
Oh,
The questions I'm asking are, Mr. Spencer, pointing out
we're done with this topic.
Contradictions in your testimony. Do you understand that? So I appreciate you would like me to move on, but I'm sure you can appreciate that the judge will ultimately tell me when I have to move on. You understand that too, right?
Correct.
Okay. You want me to move on because it makes you uncomfortable to have to getting caught in what is untruthful testimony.
Well, there's a lot of these really small discrepancies, like how many times did you do this? How many times did blah, 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 that like, I didn't just like, this isn't like a test that I studied for. This isn't college. This isn't something that I think is like a huge deal. So when you guys throw all these questions at me and then throw it on the record, it's not something that's like constantly running through my mind every day. And I'm remembering all these little tiny little details and splitting hairs about it.
That's what I'm doing? You think I'm splitting hairs? I'm questioning you about the truthfulness of your testimony and contradictions, and you're telling the jury that that's splitting hairs. Is that what you, is that how
I'm
you're characterizing?
giving my time trying
I don't even totally understand how this is all being allowed, to be completely honest.
to answer all of these questions to the best of my ability.
We'll get to the reasons why you're here later, okay? Do you understand? But I'm still going to put these questions to you. Is that okay with you, Mr. Spencer?
Yeah, ask another question.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You said today that you told the prosecutor today in response to her questions that every time you went to Joe's, you got drugs. Is that what you that is what you testified to today, right?
Yes.
Okay. Isn't your story evolving from what it was when you testified at the preliminary examination? Isn't it growing, evolving? Aren't you exaggerating?
I think you may be, you're mistaking exaggeration for lack of memory and, quite frankly, like I don't want to remember the things that happened at Joe's house. I've been trying to forget them for a year. You're mistaking exaggeration from my lack of knowledge and care about that entire situation.
Wow.
It's been a very long time since the last testimony, and I thought that I put all of that behind me.
You didn't think you'd be coming back here again?
I was really not expecting to come back here at all.
So I'm putting to you the questions, and I'm trying to do it as calmly as I can. Let me ask it again, okay? Isn't it true? I don't know, you don't like the way of that, the beginning of the question. Let me withdraw that. Your story, your claims about Joe and what took place at his house are evolving. They are growing. Isn't that true?
I would not say that that's true.
Okay.
Let me just briefly pause and thank Chief Boris, as well as The Freak and JP DeBeast already exists, and Twisted Hawk for the Twitch Prime subscriptions. I really appreciate that. Also want to say a thank you and a welcome to Eric Picula, who just signed up on my website, joinpacman.com, using the coupon code OBAMNA.
Obama.
And his new member number 31. Okay, let's continue.
You testified today that on February 15th that you drank alcohol. That's what your testimony was under oath just a few moments ago to the jury. Right?
Correct.
You were asked this question at the preliminary examination, page 62, lines 18 to 19. Did you drink alcohol that night? Your answer was no, I did not. Correct?
Correct.
Again, your testimony today is different than it was at the preliminary examination when you testified under oath there. Right?
Correct.
Again, different in the way that it's evolving, worse for Joe, making Joe look worse and worse and worse. Isn't that what you're doing here?
I don't think that's my intent. I think my intent is to just tell the truth.
You told the jury a few moments ago in response to Ms. Hand's questions that she asked you about nitrous oxide. Remember those?
Yes.
She asked you about whether or not you asked you about cocaine being provided to you at Joe's house. Do you remember that?
Yes.
You said that Joe had provided you with cocaine. You said that was your testimony on direct examination. Do you remember that?
Yes.
That's not true, is it?
Pardon me?
Joe never gave you cocaine, and you didn't do cocaine at Joe's house. That's a lie, right?
Please, can you please rephrase the question?
The question was confusing to you?
No, can you just...
Yes. You testified today that Joe gave you cocaine and you used cocaine at Joe's house previously. That's what you testified to today. You've
Yes.
acknowledged that. I'm putting to you that that is not true. That is a lie. Correct?
That is not a lie. I did use cocaine at Joe's house.
Okay. On page 61, lines 15 through 17, at the preliminary examination where you testified closer in time, the question was put to you, did you partake of the nitrous oxide or the cocaine? Your answer was no. But I've heard and seen it at his house on occasions. Wasn't that your answer under oath then?
Oh boy.
That may have been. I don't know. I
Is that
haven't.
both of those can't be true, Mr. Spencer.
Okay, so that was your answer at the preliminary exam, correct?
Yes.
Okay, what's the next question?
Both of those can't be true. What you testified to today to the jury and what you testified to under oath at the preliminary examination, right?
Yes.
So one of them is a lie.
I was lying about not using them.
You were
Because I
lying
felt
at the
guilty
preliminary
because-
examination.
I felt guilty because my dad was in the room.
Okay.
At the preliminary examination, you were under, let's just, so the jury understands that. You took an oath before you testified in the preliminary examination, is that correct?
I didn't want my dad to hear that I was using cocaine.
You took an oath to testify to the truth at the preliminary examination in district court, right?
Correct.
You raised your right hand just as you did today.
Correct.
You looked, there was a judge there named Judge Nancy Karniak, right?
Correct.
You looked her right in the eye and answered the question, no. Isn't that true? And you're testifying now is that was a deliberate, intentional lie.
He said yes.
Isn't that perjury?
Well,
Yes, it is.
Okay, I'll rephrase it. You recognize that when you're under oath, you've...
I like how he's asked, is that perjury? There's an objection, like, you know, you can't ask him about the law. It's just a witness. And he goes, yes, it was. He goes right through the objection.
It's the penalty of perjury, don't you?
Yes.
You understand deliberately and intentionally lying under oath for any reason is perjury. Do you understand that?
Yes, I do.
So you concede that you committed perjury from your own perspective. By your own words, you committed perjury at the preliminary examination.
Yes.
When the police entered the house that night, you were in possession of drugs, right?
Yes, I was.
And tell us again what drugs you were in possession of.
Xanax.
Xanax. How many Xanax pills were you in possession of?
2.
And you did not have a prescription for those pills, isn't that true?
That's true.
You understood at the time you were possessing that it was a crime to possess them, isn't that right?
Yes, I did understand that.
You understood that it was a serious crime,
Yes.
and you understood that it was a felony.
Yes, I did understand that.
So you knew that when the police entered into the house that night that you were committing a felony.
Yes.
You knew that you were committing multiple felonies if you count the number of pills you possessed. Isn't that true?
Objection, Judge. It calls for a legal conclusion.
I withdraw
That's
it.
true.
I withdraw it. It's fine. I withdraw it. I'm asking questions very politely, Your Honor.
He is asking questions.
But you know that's not true.
Well, no, I don't. I resent that because I'm not suggesting that I know that that's not true, and I don't like to suggest. You know me. I'm not suggesting anything.
You suggested to the jury that if you have 2...
I'm asking a question.
Pills, that's too
You know what? Then I'm asking a question, and if I'm wrong about that, then I'm wrong about that, and I certainly will withdraw that.
All right,
So,
next question.
so I will withdraw that. And when the police entered the house, you actually, as they entered, what did you do with the bag of pills or the couple of pills you had? Were they in a bag?
They were in a piece of like plastic wrap from cigarettes.
You remember that?
Cellophane.
You remember the...
Yes, it was in my pocket, and I...
The plastic wrap thing is interesting. You know, when I was in Lisbon, Portugal, there was a guy who came up to me when I was sitting at a cafe offering drugs. And when he pulled it out of his pocket to show it to me, it was something wrapped in like a piece of plastic wrap, cellophane. It was the same thing. But I thought it was like hash related in some way. I don't remember exactly what it was. That's interesting, the use of cellophane for transportation.
Threw it.
You have a good memory of that.
Yeah, because there were cops and I had drugs on me. I threw them.
Okay.
It was like an instinct.
Your goal, you told the jury today that your goal was to be deceptive with the police when you threw the drugs away from you, right?
Yes, I wanted to make it look like they were not mine.
Now, at the preliminary examination, I asked you questions about that when you were under oath previously, and what was your goal in discarding the drugs? Do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
And originally, you lied under oath
I
at the
believe
preliminary.
I didn't understand the question correctly.
Let me just finish the question. You can answer it any way you want. If you want to argue with me, that's up to you. I'm just going to ask the question, okay? Isn't it true that at the preliminary examination, when I first asked you, wasn't it your goal to deceive the police? You threw the drugs, that you lied. You denied.
For people asking the point of this witness, this is one of the main witnesses that the prosecution used to confirm that Joe, the defendant, did bad things. And what the lawyer is doing here is pointing out, or trying to point out, that this witness can't be trusted because he's giving conflicting testimony under oath now versus under oath during the preliminary hearing.
Your intention.
I don't remember. Maybe I did deny it, but I don't really see any other reason why I would throw them. Obviously, I was trying to deceive the police.
Well,
I think it was foolish of me to say no, and if I did, I may have not even realized that I was saying no.
Well, the question I asked you, wasn't this your question and answer at the preliminary examination, page 79, lines 7 through 11, was your goal in dropping them to the floor was to attempt to deceive the police, right? And your answer was, I don't know if it was to deceive the police. It was mostly just so that I wouldn't get in trouble because I wouldn't want to get in trouble.
So, yeah, I was trying to deceive the police. That's what I was
And
saying.
then I questioned you further. And ultimately, after you originally denied that it was your goal to deceive the police, I ultimately questioned you.
I was not denying. I originally said I was trying to not get in trouble, as in I was trying to deceive the police into not thinking that they were mine. The whole time I was agreeing that, yes, I was trying to deceive the police by throwing them.
That's what you ultimately arrived at after you and I had a long exchange under oath. Isn't that true?
I stated that initially. You just tried to twist it around to make it look like I was saying something else, and it took forever.
Your goal in dropping them to the floor was to attempt to deceive the police, right? Today you answered that question very promptly to Ms. Hand. You said yes. At the preliminary examination, you said, I don't know if it was to deceive the police. That's how you began the answer.
And then I went on to say I was doing it so that I wouldn't get in trouble. That is deception. That's the definition of deception.
I concur. So
what are you getting at?
Your initial reaction when your first thought when the police came into the house and you were in possession of drugs, your first thought to yourself was, I should be deceptive. Is that right?
But you asked and answered. I think he's admitted
No,
that several times.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, he answered it.
You tried to deceive the police at that time because you believed at that moment that was in your best interest. Isn't that right?
Correct.
All right. So at the time, did you think that that was okay? Acceptable? Appropriate?
Yes.
All right. So deception is a tool that you personally use when you're confronted with a problem or with trouble?
I don't like to ever have to deceive anybody, but in that situation, yes, that's like you said, a potential felony, and in my mind, quite a bit of trouble would come out of that for having 2 little prescription pills in my pocket that someone gave to me. Yes, that is a tool that I use, deception. It's not something that I like to use, and I hate to admit that. It's not like I do it all the time. It was a survival tactic that I chose to do.
So deception is something you use to
Yes,
protect yourself.
I think it's something that everybody uses at least once in their life, whether they have to or want to. Yes.
Wow. So that's about half of it. We're not going to watch the entire thing, but you can find it. Cooperating witness cross-examination by attorney Neil Rockand. It's quite a scene. It really is. I want to say thanks to the Hobo, as well as Cortina and Sparky and Nikki, all for signing up via Twitch Prime today. I very, very much appreciate that. Okay, everybody, that's going to be everything I had for today. We are going to be streaming the Trump press conference live on Thursday. That's at 5 p.m. Eastern. I will start at 4 p.m. Eastern. 4 p.m. Eastern. So I hope you'll join me then on Thursday. And then you may see me between now and then. All right, everybody. Hope everybody had a happy new year. Welcome to 2022. The new podcast is out. Clips are out. It's all out. It is all out. And we'll see everybody very, very soon.